So here's a question for you. What if I told you there's a place where you can climb massive sand dunes, hike through ancient oak forests, and relax on pristine beaches, all within an hour of downtown Chicago? You'd probably think I was talking about some elaborate road trip, right? Well, you'd be wrong. I recently spent an entire day at Indiana Dunes National Park, and I'm still processing what I experienced. This place completely challenged every assumption I had about what a Midwest national park could be. You're talking about 200-foot sand dunes that shift and change with the wind, hiking trails that feel like you belong in multiple different states, and Lake Michigan beaches that honestly rival some of the things I've seen on the East or West Coast. But here's the thing, not that many people know this place exists. And while millions of people are planning elaborate vacation itineraries to far-off national parks, there's this incredible natural wonderland sitting right in your backyard that most people have never heard of. Today, I'm taking you through my complete day here, from navigating the surprisingly challenging trail system to discovering camping options I never knew existed, to spending hours on beaches that left me questioning why I've traveled thousands of miles for some coastal experiences. This is my honest assessment of whether Indiana Dunes National Park is actually worth your time, or is just another overhyped destination trying to compete with the big names. And if you're new here, I'm Erin from the Scenic Route Traveler, and I love uncovering these kinds of hidden gems that make you rethink everything you thought and knew about a region. If that sounds like your kind of adventure, definitely subscribe, because I've got some incredible discoveries coming up that are going to surprise you just as much as this one did.
We are headed to Indiana State Dunes National Park today, which is about a little over an hour from Chicago, which is where I live, and is one of the perfect day trips that you can do from Chicago. You can also go camping there and stay for a weekend or overnight, but it's also a perfect day trip. And we are driving there, but you can also take the train, and the train drops you off near the national park, and then you can either walk into the main part or take your bike and bike there as well. So come along as we head to Indiana Dunes National Park for the day.
Alright, so me and my two friends were heading out from Chicago this morning to Indiana Dunes National Park. And I have to say, this might be one of the most accessible national parks I've visited. The drive is incredibly straightforward, about an hour in normal traffic. You'll take exit 26B for Route 49 North, and from there it's just following the brown National Park signs. What's fascinating is watching the landscapes transform as you drive. You start in the urban environment of Chicago, pass through some industrial areas, and then suddenly, you're seeing these massive sand dunes rising up ahead. Here's something that I wish I knew before arriving. Indiana Dunes has multiple access points spread across 15 miles of Lake Michigan shoreline. Mount Baldy has its own entrance, West Beach is separate, and there are several other areas that you can enter in. We are starting at the main visitor center today, which gives you great access to multiple trail systems and helps you understand the layout of this surprisingly large park. Parking is generally pretty good, decent sized lots at each main entrance, though they can fill up on the summer weekend, so do keep that in mind.
We've officially made it to Indiana Dunes National Park. We're gonna go on a hike first, but my biggest recommendation if you're coming from Chicago is there's two different routes you can take. One has a $13 toll, or you can take a route that only adds about 2 more minutes, and it is free. There's no tolls. So I recommend making sure you take the free route if you want to save yourself $13 to there and then back.
So we started our day hiking on the Big Blowout Trail, which connects to Trail 9 and Trail 10, and is where Indiana Dunes really shows you what it is all about. The trailhead is right near a parking lot and restroom facility, which makes it a very convenient spot to start your day in Indiana Dunes National Park. The Big Blowout Trail is a few miles long and takes you through this incredible succession of different ecosystems. You literally start in an oak forest, transition through prairie grasslands, and end up climbing these massive sand dunes. It's like hiking through a living textbook of Great Lakes ecology.
Don't forget to bring your bug spray. There are quite a few bugs. We're here in September, so don't forget it.
One thing that was very challenging and I wasn't necessarily prepared for is hiking on loose sand. These aren't necessarily packed trails. You are literally walking up and down shifting sand dunes. But boy, let me tell you, the views as you climb higher became absolutely spectacular. So Trail 9 branches off and takes you to some of the highest points in the park. The climb can be kind of steep and sandy, but when you reach the top, you've got these panoramic views of Lake Michigan that honestly look like ocean views, and you can see for miles along the shoreline. Now, Trail 10 is where things are really interesting. It connects you to different dune formations and gives you access to some of the most secluded beach areas. This trail system here is more extensive than I honestly expected, with options for everything from easy 30-minute walks to challenging 3-hour adventures. And what surprised me the most about hiking here is the diversity. You're not just walking on sand dunes, you're experiencing wetlands, forests, prairies, and then these dramatic coastal landscapes.
I recommend whatever route or trail that you decide to do, that it ends up on the beach somewhere. It's a nice break in between all of the forest and to end up on the beach on Lake Michigan.
We're now at Kemble Beach. We spent the last few hours on one of the trails along here, enjoying that, and now we've just stopped to have our lunch on the beach, relax, read, do some crossword puzzles, and hang out here for the next few hours and enjoy it. Potentially do another hike later on and enjoy this beautiful day. It is also good to be mindful of the parks around here that are the national park and the state park, because this actually used to only be a state park and then it came into a national park status, I believe, in 2012. So it hasn't been even that long that it's been a national park. But if you have America the Beautiful Pass, you can use it in some parts. But I know before, when I've been here, we wanted to do a hike and it was in the state park part of it, which we had to play separately. So just if you want to just stick to the America the Beautiful Pass, or you have that, or you want to buy that national park pass, or just a day pass, to know that it kind of interchangeably switches. Now here's something that caught me a little off guard about Indiana Dunes. It doesn't actually have camping within the national park itself. I had assumed there'd be campgrounds here, but the park services focuses on day use activities mainly. However, what I discovered is that there are several state parks and private campgrounds within just a few minutes of the national park entrances. Warren Dunes State Park in Michigan is only about 20 minutes away and offers great camping with beach access. There are also some camping options near Chesterton that put you right in the heart of the area. And what's actually kind of nice about this setup is that you can camp nearby and then explore different sections of Indiana Dunes over a few days if you need, and then without having to pack up your whole campsite. I also do recommend to check your local conditions, either on like the Weather Channel or one of the weather apps, to know if the beach is good to swim or not. We were going to go swimming today, but there is a beach hazard and not recommended to go swimming, especially if you're not as strong of a swimmer. So always be sure to check that, because you never know with mighty Lake Michigan. So let's now talk a little bit more about these beaches that you can see on the screen, because this is where Indiana Dunes absolutely exceeded every expectation I had. We are currently making our way on Kemble Beach. The water stretches to the horizon, and the sand is clean and wide, and the waves are actually pretty substantial. The swimming here is pretty fantastic. Lake Michigan does get pretty cool in the summer, but it is fantastic on a nice hot summer day to jump in the water. But it is rather nice how clear the beaches are and how well maintained they are by the Park Service. But here's what nobody prepared me for: the sheer scale of these beaches. We're talking miles of shoreline with wide sandy beaches that never feel crowded even on a busy day. You can walk for hours along the water's edge, and every turn reveals new views of these dunes rising up from the beaches. And what's fascinating from a hiking perspective is how the beach connects to the dune trails. You can literally walk along the beach and then climb up to the dunes, then back down to a different section of the beach. It creates this amazing variety to your outdoor experience. The surprise that really got me was the wildlife as well. This area is on a major bird migration route, so depending on when you visit, you might see some incredible species of birds. We spotted several birds that I was not expecting, and the variety of plant life transitioning from beach to dunes to forest is remarkable. Now, I also have to address something honestly. Yes, you can see some industrial developments in the distance from certain viewpoints. These are steel mills and other facilities that are part of the regional landscape. But what struck me is how little this actually impacts your overall experience when you're focused on the natural beauty right in front of you. And the beach experience here feels authentic in a wild way that surprised me. You've got these towering dunes as your backdrop, expansive lake views, and even a peep of the Chicago skyline, and enough space that you can find solitude even during peak visiting hours. The combination of beach time and challenging dune hiking creates this perfect blend of relaxation and adventure.
Right down the road from the beach we were at this afternoon are these old houses that were built in the World Fair in 1933, and they're really pretty, so it's only a few minute walk if you're at this beach, or even if you're in the area, to come drive down the little piece of history. It's really cool.
Before I wrap up, let me hit you with a few different things that I promised to cover that might influence your decision to visit. First, timing really does matter when you visit here. Summer weekends can get quite busy, especially the beach areas and Mount Baldy. If you want a more peaceful experience, weekdays or shoulder seasons are probably the most ideal time to come. If you are also a fellow photography lover, there are some amazing opportunities to shoot photography here, especially during golden hour. The contrast between the dunes, lake, and sky creates some stunning compositions. And what also sealed the deal for me about Indiana Dunes is its accessibility. This is a legitimate national park experience that you can have as just a day trip even from Chicago, which is a pretty remarkable thing when you think about it. So is Indiana Dunes worth it? Absolutely. It's not going to replace Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon in your heart, but it offers something unique, a genuine wilderness experience that's incredibly accessible to millions of people. The hiking is more challenging than expected, the beaches are beautiful, and the overall experience feels much more wild and expansive than you'd anticipate for somewhere so close to major cities. If you found this video helpful, definitely subscribe for more honest national park reviews, and let me know in the comments if you've been to Indiana Dunes or if there's another underrated park I should explore next.
I'll end the vlog here. We had the perfect day at Indiana Dunes National Park. I do recommend the hike and the beach that we were at during the day, and to have the perfect day trip from Chicago or the Chicago suburbs as well. So thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.